YouTube, we have a problem with that. I'm sorry, but and today I forgot we are not recording, but I better do it as soon as possible. Okay, now we are recording, okay? I'm sorry about that. Okay, so now what about when you disagree with someone? ¿Qué significa disagree?
¿Desacuerdo?
Yes, so there's sophisticated way to disagree, right? I like who said this? Voltaire? Voltaire. I don't know how to pronounce exactly, but didn't he say I don't agree with what you say, I disagree with what you say, but I will fight with all my life so that you're able to say it, right? Esa frase de Voltaire que decía que estoy de desacuerdo contigo, pero lucharé con mi vida para que tengas el derecho de decirlo. It's like, it's like you just have to. Now it seems like when you disagree with someone, it's your enemy, right? And I don't think it has to be like that. Personally, I think that we can disagree, that we can have opposite points of view. Yo creo que sí puedes tener puntos de vista opuestos con una persona y aún así ser amigos, ¿no? Like it doesn't have to be like you think the opposite of me, now you're not, you're idiot. I hate you. I think that sometimes this is the thing that happens in Twitter, that happens like people are obsessed with being right. Gente está obsesionada con tener la razón, and this is not the way it should be, right? So what can you say in order to not sound like an idiot when you disagree with someone? Well, you could say like there's a good expression that you can say like I beg to differ, como lamento diferir. Yeah? I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Yeah. With all due respect, es como con todo respeto. Um, I see things rather differently. Con todo respeto, yo veo las cosas muy diferente. With all due respect. Eso es, bueno, muy respetuoso, ¿no? With all due respect. We could say, that's one perspective. That's one perspective. But here's another to consider. Yes, esa es una perspectiva, pero hay another, okay. Pero hay otra que podemos considerar. Yes. Then if you want to debate with the person, you can say something like, may I offer an alternate interpretation? Como le puedo ofrecer una interpretación alternativa. May I offer an alternate interpretation? Yes. I don't know. May I suggest a different angle? May I suggest a different angle? ¿Puedo sugerir un ángulo diferente? Yes. Okay. So these are some of the things you can say. Now, when you give examples, cuando estás dando ejemplos de lo que tú dices, sometimes in English you say, if you will, or you also say, so to speak. So to speak, or if you will, significa por así decirlo, por así decirlo. I don't know. It's laughable, ¿no? Como es risible. Entonces yo estoy hablando de algo, te digo, it's laughable, if you will, por así decirlo. Y o puedo decir, it's laughable, so to speak, por decirlo de algún modo, so to speak. So you can say, so to speak, if you will. These are some expressions that people use para decir casi como, por decirlo de algún modo. Yes, when you feel like you are using some strange words or interpretations. So, you know that there's people who are pro Donald Trump and there's people who are against Donald Trump, right? I think that all of you feel like you don't like Donald Trump. I don't know why, but I think that all Mexicans feel like, siento que todos los mexicanos no, a nadie le gusta Donald Trump, you know. It's not like I don't like him, but it's just I don't really, I'm not interested in politics in this way. I like to learn about politics, but I never take a side, you know. But I would like to ask you now, according to what we read, I would like you to give me like your very sincere opinion about what is going on with Trump. I want you to tell me what do you think about Donald Trump actions? And what do you think about what is going on with Mexico? Do you think that Mexico is in the good way? Do you think that Mexico is growing economically? México va bien, creciendo. You think um, or do you think that it has a lot of corruption? Please tell me your opinions. First, you can tell me about Trump, and you can tell me about how Mexico is handling the situation. ¿Cómo está México manejando la situación con Trump? What could you tell me? Try to think about an opinion and try to use this vocabulary. Like, I don't know, incluso podemos hacer una actividad que la mitad esté a favor de Trump y la otra mitad en contra, ¿no? We could argue. But I just would like to know your opinion right now. Like, tell me, try to, let's have like speaking activity and tell me, what is your opinion about what is going on with Donald Trump? Who would like to say something? You just need to say an idea.
First point, Donald Trump is racist.
Racist? Mm-hmm.
Racist.
Yes.
Mm,
Okay. Can you support your point? Why do you say that he's a racist?
because in your first government, this mm, this he put the new rules for the all Mexican that stays in United States,
Yeah.
and and in your new government,
In
uh,
his
in
new government. Yes.
his government, is again.
Against immigrants.
Yeah.
But why do you think his vice president is Latino? Isn't that weird? Like he's racist, but on the other hand, the vice president is Latino. How do you explain that? El
How?
vicepresidente es latino, ¿no? Y
Mm,
forma parte del gabinete de Trump. So how do you explain that?
Maybe Trump only searched the distracted all the people.
Mm. So you think he hates Latinos, he's racist. Okay. So that's one perspective to analyze. Yes. But I think that just Donald Trump, he's not racist. If I may offer an alternate interpretation, I think that he thinks he's the best, and it's not about race. He just feels that everyone is inferior to him, so to speak. No, yo creo que en realidad no es racista, sino que simplemente cree que todos son inferiores a él. I don't know, if you will. Abby, what do you think? What is your opinion, your perspective about Donald Trump?
In my point of view, I think that Donald Trump is a egoist person because only focus in the United States economy and maybe all the tariffs to impo imponer.
Mm,
We could say it like tell me the context, imponer a otros países.
Ajá, todas las tarifas que impone a otros países.
Yeah, that mm, that he slots like we had in the read that he slots on other countries. That he slots on other countries.
Okay, because he slots another countries
On other countries.
on other countries because I think that he tried to increase
Mm-hmm.
the inflation.
The inflation, yes.
Okay, the inflation and reduce the debts, the United States debts. Also, I think that he is a rude person
Mm-hmm.
because he don't establish an allies with the other countries because only wants to be the best.
Yeah.
And is very um rare because in my point of view,
Mm-hmm.
if close the importaciones,
Mm-hmm. The imports. Mm-hmm.
okay, the imports to the other countries, maybe obligate to the North American
Mm-hmm.
to work in a manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the how do you say mano de obra?
Yeah. Handwork.
The
Handwork.
handwork, United States coast, uh, coast this handwork with the other countries more or less.
Yeah. There's some people who say globalism is over. Like Donald Trump is the president who wants to finish globalism. And I think that many countries are now like taking care of their own crib. Están como solo cuidando su propio corral. And I think that all the countries, instead of sharing like it used to be like 50 years ago, they are the opposite. Now they're scared of each other. And I don't know, this is like very tense. It's like now no country trusts another country. And this is not how capitalism works. Así no es como funciona el capitalismo, el globalismo. No, I think is doing the opposite of what the presidents of the United States were doing long ago. Okay, Danny, do you think that what Donald Trump is doing is good or bad for Mexico?
For Mexico is bad because
How?
like
And how do you think Mexico could fight that?
um well it's bad to Mexico like a country neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
um affect because Trump only see for his country. I mean, I think that is his priority is the
Mm-hmm.
American people because he tried to increase the economy
So do you
and
think he is a good president for United States
yeah,
only?
yeah, I think that is a good president for American people because he think about the American people like restrain. I don't know how do you say restrict here? Limit,
Restrict,
limit,
limit.
to restrict the uh, immigrant people to his
Mm-hmm.
country are good because in Mexico the reality is like immigrants. I think in at the moment is a problem because is too much people
Yeah.
um, in the streets. Or
Yeah,
I
there are
think
many
in my
homeless
personal
people. Exactly.
yeah in my personal opinion the crime increased in Mexico. So
Okay.
uh, and on another hand, the United States needs Mexico because the Mexico exports too many things like the drug, and also I think that Trump is a I don't know how do you say envidioso,
How do you say what?
envidioso,
Mm-hmm. He's envious.
envious or
Envious.
ambitious person too.
Mhm. Envious. Okay. Miroslava, do you agree? Do you think that Donald Trump is a good president for the United States?
For the United States, I think yes, but from another countries, no.
So in that case, I think that, I mean, he's the president of the United States, right? So maybe he's just caring about his business, right?
Hmm.
So how do you think Mexico should react? Do you think Mexico should be more active in the role in the world, or you think that Mexico should stay like it is?
You can repeat, please?
Yes, in your opinion, how is Mexican government doing? Do you think they are doing a good job with this thing about Donald Trump?
I don't know.
And are you happy with the government right now, the Mexican government?
I think yes,
Okay, why? Why why do you agree?
for the
Mm,
president of Mexico,
Okay. Do you
or
think
or
Mexico is good? Is Mexico is doing well? You're happy with the government, with the
no,
president?
no, no, no,
No, no. Why? So why you don't like the Mexican government?
because they support everyone to mm, que no trabajan. What do you say?
They support mm, unemployed people. Mhm. But maybe they are unemployed because that's their situation. Maybe not because they don't want to work. Okay. And what do you think, Eric? Do you agree with this? Do you think the Mexican government is like ineffective? They really don't do their job?
Yeah, I think that our government is more or less well, but not is idyllic,
Idyllic.
uh,
Yeah.
idyllic because in this case about Donald Trump, our government don't give in the all um, the all tariffs
Mhm.
about that mention Donald Trump. And but the any or some tariffs that return at the people that don't work uh, is more or less well because at the person that is that are employees
Yeah.
how do you say quitan or retienen
Depends. Retira qué.
many taxes.
Okay, it gets rid of many taxes. Gets
Yeah,
rid of many taxes.
yeah, and
Okay.
then these many taxes return or the people.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know.
I
I
think.
never agree with this, the tax on the money you make. Like, why do I have to give you 25% of what I make, ¿Por qué te tengo que pagar 25% de mis ganancias? It's like not fair. It's like, and then if you are a company and if you want to, because we are not happy that we don't have entrepreneurs, porque decimos no hay emprendedores, but how come if starting a company is so difficult? Si empiezas una empresa y no estás preparado, los impuestos te van a comer, It's like, I honestly think that Mexico is not a country that is very company friendly, I think. I don't know why, but I think that the government is not liberal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just talking about economy, not politics. But I wish it was easier to entrepreneur. Me gustaría que fuera más fácil emprender. It would be good, right? Okay, guys. Well, it's a good talk. You know, you can be like more passionate, debate, like try to debate in English, say your opinions in English. It's good. So now I would like to talk about what I sent you. Yes, we're going to have a review of the contrasting adverbs. So I could say something good. I'm talking about something good. I don't know, about Mexico City. What do you love about living in Mexico City? I love that Mexico City, it has a nice weather. What is something bad about Mexico City? And then you use some of these expressions. On the other hand, Mexico City is a little bit insecure. Or like we were talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is old. On the other hand, he's very active as a president. So we have here some phrases, and let's just try to remember these adverbs of contrast. However, it's translated like sin embargo. The client was interested in the premium package. Oh, this is something good. However, their budget was limited. What is the meaning of budget?
Presupuesto.
Presupuesto. So this is something bad. So when you use these contrasting words, you will have like something good versus something bad. You're comparing two things, right? Nevertheless is like no obstante. It's like another synonym of however. Yes. Abby, could you help me read the example for nevertheless?
The proposal was sent late. Nevertheless, the client appreciate our follow-up.
The client appreciated.
Okay. The client appreciated
Appreciated.
appreciated.
Appreciate. The accent is like in the E. You can do it. Appreciated.
Appreciated.
Exactly. Appreciated.
Appreciated.
Good. Good. Appreciated. What?
Okay. The client appreciated our follow-up.
Thank you. Okay, so exactly. So this is something bad. The proposal was sent late. Aquí empezamos con algo negativo, que se envió tarde. Nevertheless, something good, right? On the other hand, can we read the example, please, Danny? On the other hand.
Who's read?
Yes, number 3, please. On the other hand, can you read it?
Me? I'm sorry, I don't
Yes.
listening. You're first. Okay. On the other hand, the local clients wants a traditional package. On the other hand, the international team prefers a digital only solution.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, number 4, please, Miroslava. In contrast.
In contrast, our competitor offered a lower price. In contrast, we highlight our added value and service quality.
Good. Can you repeat? We highlighted
We highlighted
our added
our
value.
value.
Okay, very good. So Miroslava, where do you work? Do you work in Scotiabank or what bank do you work in?
Yes, in Scotiabank.
Okay, so guys, how could you convince me or convince any client to take your services instead of BBVA or instead of Banamex or instead of Banorte? Why choosing you? Why choosing Scotiabank? Why not Santander? Why not BBVA?
Maybe because Scotiabank have a personal service. Because in my point of view, in the technology or in the implementation of the service, the other banks are good. But Scotiabank try to sell the service.
Okay. So let's try to say just to just as an example, I could use these words and say Scotiabank doesn't have many ATMs in contrast to BBVA. Still, on the other hand, they offer a personalized service, right? Do you remember ATM? ¿Recuerdan qué significa ATM? Is where
Yeah.
you draw money, cajero automático. But you know, it's true. I don't know if it's here where I live, but I haven't seen many Scotiabank ATMs. Al menos aquí donde vivo no he visto muchos cajeros de Scotiabank.
No,
It's
are
just
less.
in Mexico City, are there many?
Yeah, but not too much like another ATM banks.
But have some alliance with the others banks. For example, I don't remember the banks, but
In Bursa, I think.
In Bursa?
and you can read.
In Bursa and Banregio, I think. In the one of the ATMs, Scotiabank, you can see the alliance like Avises.
Okay. Okay, give me other reason to okay, let's imagine that I'm a corporate client. Yes, I'm a corporate client, un cliente corporativo. Why choosing Scotiabank? Tell me other reason. Because Abby is the only one defending the company. You need to put the shirt on. Pónganse la camiseta, come on.
Yeah, I prefer BBA.
Okay, Danny goes straight to the point. Well, I mean, I use it because there are more ATMs. Yo lo uso por más cajeros. It's simpler. La interfaz es más simple. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think that the other banks are more digital banks.
more digital.
Yeah, it have more platforms and
Okay.
services online. But in another hand, I think that Scotiabank is one of the most security bank because I don't hear that
One of
bad
the
news.
safest banks.
Yeah, safe
Safest.
because one of the safest banks
Safest.
because I don't hear the bad news like I don't know how do you say fraude?
Frauds.
Frauds.
Frauds or
Frauds.
scams.
Or
Okay.
scams. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when they call you, are they really the employees of the banks? Is it true that when there are these frauds or these scams, it's actually people from the company who sold your information? ¿Es posible que esos fraudes, esas llamadas realmente sean empleados que simplemente están intentando hacerte un fraude? Like maybe they're taking advantage of the information they have. No,
I think that
maybe.
the employees direct now calls
Mhm.
the person, but I think the employees
Sell the
um,
information.
share with another people the information about
But
the person.
it's not good.
Yeah,
Okay, so do you think
but
that Scotiabank is the safest?
I think that yes.
Okay, then we have here still. The presentation didn't go as planned. Still, we managed to secure a follow-up meeting. Es como aún así. You can say still, or you can also say yet. Still or yet is like aún así. You can use it in this context. Ahí tenemos igual Jet. She's new to corporate sales, yet she closed 2 major deals this month. Even so, the client was hesitant about the contract length. El cliente tenía dudas sobre lo largo del contrato. Even so, they agreed to the 12-month term. Aún así, estuvieron de acuerdo con los 12 meses de largo del contrato. Okay, so these are some of the words, and now we have here a couple of exercises. And look at these pictures. What do you see in these pictures? Compare the two pictures. Like we have this first picture with a nice car entering a nice restaurant. And what do we have on the other picture? We have some humble people, maybe homeless, right?
Caritative.
Yes. Caritative. Yes, why? How do you explain what happens in the word, right? That, for example, if you go to Monaco, everyone is driving one of these cars, right? But in many countries, the situation is like this, you know. For example, I want to talk about number 2, the exercise number 2. This exercise says choose the 2 correct contrast links in italics in each sentence. Hay 2 que son correctas y una que no es. So we have, for example, whereas, although, and however. The poorest 10% have become poorer. The richest 1% are now even richer. Do you understand this? The poorest 10% of the world, la gente más pobre, el 10% más pobre, se han hecho más pobres, poorer. The poorest, and this is superlative, los más pobres del mundo, they have become even poorer. The richest 1%, el 1% de los más ricos, they are now even richer. That is what I told you. Like, isn't it like life is unfair? The world is unfair. This is sad, right? Que la vida es injusta, el mundo es injusto. And that if you are born rich, very probable you will die rich. If you are born poor, you will die poor. Yeah? This is like something that's sad. El que nace rico morirá rico y el que nace pobre morirá pobre. It's like sad, you know? And so in this case, I would choose, right? I can choose whereas or and although. In this case, I would choose we can choose 2 options out of the 3. What is whereas, guys? Whereas means mientras que. Yes, so I'm going to choose this one and you can help me with the other ones. Whereas, mientras que los 10% más pobres se han hecho más pobre, los 1% más ricos se han hecho más ricos. And I can also use although, which is aunque. Yeah. Okay, so I use whereas and although because however doesn't make sense here. Okay, can you help me, Miroslava, to read number 1? Let's read number 1. And you have 3 options. Puedes escoger whereas, you can use even though, or you can use while. But first read the sentence, primero leemos toda la oración, y después puedes escoger. Yes, let's go. Okay, maybe she's not available. Danny, can you help me with number 1, please? Let's read number 1.
Yeah. 30 years ago, almost every young life in the countryside. Nowadays, most people live in cities.
Okay, so do you understand the countryside?
Foráneos.
Sorry?
Foráneos.
Yeah, it's like el rancho, el campo. Yes.
Okay.
Nowadays, do you understand nowadays?
Hoy en día.
Hoy en día, exactly.
Countryside.
Okay,
Es
so
como pueblo.
exactly. Countryside is pueblo. Exactly.
Okay.
So, what are we comparing, guys? What 2 things are we comparing? ¿Qué 2 cosas estamos comparando? What 2 things are we comparing?
That some years ago, the people live in a countryside, and in the actuality, in our currency, more people live in the city.
Exactly. So we are comparing like the past versus the future and countryside versus the cities. Okay, so which now you need to choose, Danny. You can choose two. There are three options, but you can only choose two. So we need to spot the incorrect sentence. So
What is
whereas,
while?
while is the same as whereas. Mientras que.
Oh, I don't know.
And even though
Mm,
is aunque. So which sounds better, guys, in your opinion?
where is and while?
Whereas and while, exactly. So I could say hace 30 años todos vivían en el campo, mientras que hoy en día, exactly. Whereas. And even though it's aunque, no, not really, because we are comparing, right? It's like comparando mientras que. Okay, can you help me with Eric number 3? The options are in spite of. The other is despite the fact that. And the other one is even though, but we can read the rest. Vamos a leer el resto y después cogemos.
Sorry, even though is the same that all.
Exactly. Even though,
Okay.
although, or simplemente though, the three of them mean aunque. Yes.
Even though aid has increased, famine still exists.
Still exists. Aid has increased. Aid is help, humanitarian help. Do
Oh,
you know famine is a problem about food? Famine. When poor people don't have enough money to eat, or the land has problems, say they don't have food. Hambruna. Yeah. So I have the aid has increased. Yes, but famine still exists. So we choose in spite of, despite the fact that, or even though. In spite of, do you remember, guys, what the meaning of in spite of is?
en lugar de.
A pesar de.
Pues,
Yes, a pesar de. Despite the fact that, a pesar del hecho que. Yes. Even though is like although. So which
um,
sounds better? Two options are correct.
I think that is in spite of and even though.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Even though aid has increased, famine still exists. Aunque, yes, it's not bad. In spite of, is the Nova. In spite of Nova. No, in spite of es a pesar de, pero nos faltaría el that. Yes, a pesar
Mm,
de que. So, despite the fact that, a pesar del hecho de que la ayuda ha incrementado. So, yes, even though and despite are correct, but in spite of, no, it's not
despite.
correct. In
Okay.
this case, after in spite of, we need a verb. In spite of increasing the aid. Ahí sí sería correcto. After a verb. Okay, let's see. Miroslava, can you help me with number 4? Maybe she's gone. Abby, help me please with number 4.
A generation ago, most doctors were male. In contrast, while, however, today the majority are
Female.
uh,
Okay, in contrast, while, however. So what are we
mm,
comparing here, Abby?
that in the past the doctors are male, and currently the
Currently,
majority the doc
currently, yes. Currently.
currently the doctors today, no, currently the doctors are girls.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So which would you use? In contrast, while, or however?
Maybe in contracts and while.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I think in contrast could be, but while cannot be. While, look here, when in number one we use while and whereas, but you don't need a comma, right? And here you have a comma, right? So generation ago, most doctors were male. However, comma, yes, and yeah, it would be really weird to say mientras, hoy, no,
Okay.
it's like, no, I think in contrast, en contraste, or however, exact. So you can say these one too. Okay, Eric, please help me with, no, it's Danny. Danny, help me please with number 5.
Um, contrary to, where is, in spite of
Whereas,
what,
yes, whereas.
whereas, and in spite of what many people think, discrimination is still common. So I think is mm, mm,
Okay, do you remember what is the meaning
whereas
of
and in
whereas?
spite of, yeah, aunque,
Whereas is like mientras que,
ah,
in spite of,
mientras que,
a pesar de.
whereas and in spite of is the correct options
Okay, let's see.
or
Well,
no?
what many people think discrimination is still common. I think in this case we would use contrary to
Okay,
and in spite of.
in spite of,
Yes,
okay,
and
yeah.
we don't use whereas. Yes.
Oh,
So it
I
would be
have a
Mhm.
I have a question. In spite of need a verb. Yeah.
In this case, no, in this case, because if you have a pesar de lo que la mayoría piensa. So in spite of
Okay.
it, you have what many people think. So this what saves it. Si no tuviéramos el what, no se podría. Tendrías que utilizar despite the fact that. Yeah, pero el what lo salva. That's why here we couldn't use in spite of, right? But he
Okay.
says in spite of what many people think. Lo que mucha gente piensa. Yeah, we can use it. Okay, and contrary to is like contrario a. Yes, exactly. Okay, 6. Can you help me, please? We go back to Eric.
By law, all children must attend school. Nevertheless, despite this, although many still work in the fields,
Fields. Yes.
fields. Mm,
You know, fields?
no.
Los campos. Work in the fields.
Mm, nevertheless, and although,
Nevertheless, yes, it's like no obstante good. And although, nevertheless, we say by law, all children must attend school. Although, uh, I think the way the sentence is, we could say, although it would be better if it was at the beginning. Sonaría mejor si fuera, although by law children must attend school,
mm,
many still work in the fields. But
okay,
for the way the sentence is written, I would choose despite this.
despite this.
Yes. By law, all children must attend school. Despite this, a pesar de esto, many still work in the fields.
Okay.
Yes, so nevertheless, yes, and despite they are correct.
Teacher, the comma only apply in however?
You mean if we can use however instead of nevertheless?
No. Although. mm,
Although,
Um.
although is aunque.
Yeah. After the although
After although,
have a comma.
mm, It depends how the sentence is written.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends. You sometimes can write although in the middle and it needs a comma. Yes, but at the beginning, for example, in number 2, you don't need it because you go although the poorest, it's como although, comma, the poorest doesn't need it. Yeah. And although could be if it was at the beginning, but in the way it is here, doesn't sound good. Okay, Abby,
Okay.
number 7, please.
Okay. In spite of the fact that, in contrast, though the war is over, the border region is still dangerous.
Exactly. Okay, so we have something good, the war is over, and something negative, that the border region is still dangerous. La región fronteriza. So what do you think? In spite of the fact that the war is over, in contrast, the war is over, though the war is over.
Mm. In spite of that, in spite of the fact
That.
that the war is over, the border region is still dangerous, and so.
And though, exactly, very good. Exactly. In contrast, doesn't make sense. Good. So, in spite of the fact that, it's like a pesar del hecho de que. It's like a longer version. Okay, Danny, number 8, please.
Where is
Flooded?
where
War?
after though the war?
The war, la guerra.
Okay.
The war.
Yeah.
Good. Number 8.
Um, the the south, the south of the country is
South. Mhm.
the south. The south of the country is flooded.
Flooded.
Flooded. The south of the country is flooded. Conversely, contrary to, on the other hand, the north is suffering from flood.
Okay.
I think is contrary to and on the other hand.
Yeah. You see, we have here conversely. Conversely is like por el contrario or en cambio. Yes. The south of the country is flooded.
Conversely, yeah.
En cambio, I think conversely sounds good.
Conversely, and on the other hand, or contrary to.
On the other hand is like it could be, but on the other hand is like when I give an opinion, right? Como por otro
Okay.
lado, me gusta el helado, no? I don't know, something like that. But I think in this case, because we are comparing two places, the south versus the north, it sounds more natural to say contrary to, conversely, and contrary to, contrario al norte. Yes?
Okay. Just
Yeah.
on the other hand is usually for the conversation or personal opinion.
Yeah, it's just that you see, the south of the country is flooded. El sur del país está inundado. Por otro lado, es como, no sé, por otro lado, al decir por otro lado, tendría que decir algo positivo de esa inundación, you know? On
Okay.
the other hand, I don't know, the soldiers saved many people, you know? Or on the other hand, no one died. Por otro lado, nadie murió. Like I'm talking about the same South. But in this case, you are comparing two different things, the South and the North. So in this case, it sounds more natural to say conversely, como, or contrary to. El sur está inundado, contrario al norte. Yes. It's just something small, like irrelevant, but yes, it doesn't sound not that natural. You understand? So, guys,
Yeah.
do you have any questions about the use? I think that is more natural when you read, when you see examples, right? But do you have any questions about the use of them? there are some that are very similar, right? For example, although, even though, and though, they are the same. However, nevertheless, nonetheless, they are the same. Despite, in spite of, despite the fact that is the same. Conversely, contrary to, they are the same. Whereas and while, they are the same. So sometimes you have synonyms, and we have like a lot of vocabulary, yeah, but they are basically the same, yeah. So I think that the last class I would like us to get involved like in a debate. I would like you to prepare for a debate, but I don't know. I would like to think about a topic, because politics can be a sensitive topic. But I want you to prepare so that on Wednesday we can practice a, a, a debate, right? So today we didn't have Paulette and today we didn't have Fanny. So maybe for the next class you can team up with them. So what if let's choose the team, maybe Danny, and um, and Fanny, Abby, Danny, and Fanny, you are a team, and Eric, Miroslava, and Paulette, they are other team. Yes. So remember who your team is. What I want you to do, but I would like to talk to you right now about the topic. What topic do you think would be good to debate about? Maybe something that interests you, something that you use at work. I don't know. We need to prepare a debate. ¿Sobre qué tema les gustaría? What topic could be? Could be something that happens at work, puede ser sobre lo que ocurre en el trabajo. I don't know, about I don't know, controversial topics. I don't know. What topic would you like to have the debate, our next class?
Abort of children.
Okay, abortion could be abortion. It doesn't mean that you need to be actually in favor or against. No se tiene que
Maybe
realmente.
the feminist
Okay, feminism.
feminism that is good or not good, maybe.
Abortion is good. It's a hot topic, but I think it's very sensitive. Feminism is not that. But the point, what I wanted to tell you is that even if you don't agree, okay, quizá no, esas personas no estén de acuerdo con el feminismo, tienen que tomar el rol de defenderlo, just for the activity. Yes. So let's take feminism, and if you have other idea, just let me know, and maybe we can take that idea. So what if we have Abby, Danny, and Fanny? Es que son riman todos los nombres, ¿no? Abby, Danny, Fanny. So you are
Yeah.
the feminist, son el equipo de las feministas. You are the feminazis, and you're the feminist team. And you have to support these ideals. And you have to check, you have to investigate ideas that support you. Yes, and Eric, Miroslava, and Paulette, you have to check points like in order to debate their view. Van a buscar puntos en contra del feminismo, So I think that in this way, and maybe you don't hate them, maybe you don't love feminism, but you need to take the role. Aquí tienen que como tomar un rol. And in the next class, we're going to start with this debate so that we have like the most of the time a conversation, yes? Study the vocabulary that we use today, is those contrast links, is those contrast adverbs, the vocabulary that I gave you on the chat, so that we really have like a deep conversation, okay? So prepare with your teams and try to assign what topics you would like to talk. And yeah, that's it. So, okay. Any questions about it? Do you have any questions, guys? Okay. So prepare this assignment, and the next class I only want you to have conversation. Okay, good. So thank you everyone, and hope you have a good night. Take care, guys.